जिज्ञासु हो नचिकेत से, कर्मयोगी कृष्ण जैसे वीर हो हम पार्थ से। बलिदान गोविंद सिंह सहो, स्वार्थ सारा ही चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। देशभक्ति हो शिवासम, प्रेम हो गौरांग सा। स्वाभिमान प्रताप साहो, तेज झांसी वाली सा। जलती शहीदों की चिता से, हृदय में अंगार ले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। संग्राम में जीवन धरा पर, विजय रथ ले हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं, नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं, हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं, वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं, चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः, पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ, नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं, भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं, रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं, हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं, वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
चंदन है इस देश की माटी, चंदन है इस देश की माटी, तपोभूमि हर गाँव है, हर बाला देवी की प्रतिमा, बच्चा बच्चा राम है, बच्चा बच्चा राम है। चंदन
राजप्रियम् धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनौ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरना मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं।
Jai Shri Krishna everyone. I heartily welcome all of you to today's Vivechan session of the 18th chapter, that is the Moksha Sannyas Yoga. It tells us that Sri Krishna is here for all of us, to take care of all of us. What is demanded of us is to stay connected to Him and find and embrace the sannyasa and the liberation. So the mantra is to simply surrender. With the grace of Sri Krishna and Swami Govindev Giriji Maharaj, I would like to call upon Srimati Vimla Sharma ji for the starting prayer. She joined Geeta Pariwar in 2022. She served as technical assistant from L1 to L4, GC L1 to L4, and 5 times she has served as co-trainer in L1. Welcome Vimla Didi for the opening prayer.
जय श्री कृष्ण वसुदेव सुतं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णो वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्ण वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण सभी को
Jai Shri Krishna Didi. Thank you for the beautiful melodious prayer. We all know that Diya is the symbol of light, power, and the presence of Sri Krishna. It also symbolizes his extended bliss and aura. The lighting of Diya is the act of praising and embellishing the presence of Sri Krishna. For this, today, I invite Seema Joshi ji. She joined Geeta Pariwar in April 2021. She began the co-trainer Seva in August 2021. And since then, she's been serving as co-trainer from L1 to L3. For the present time, she's giving Seva as co-trainer in L3. Welcome Seema Didi for the Diya lighting.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः
Thank you, Seema Didi, for the lovely and the peace-giving Diya lighting. Now, before we proceed on, I would like to tell all of you about the few announcements. The new batches, that is the 40th batch of the L1, it is commencing on 30th of May. So, you should be sharing the links and the links of the Vivechan sessions also and other things, whatever you get in the groups of Geeta Pariwar, with your near and dear ones who are heartily interested in joining and progressing on this spiritual journey. So don't forget to share the links and spread the information about the new batches of L1 commencing from 30th of May. Now the moment we all have been waiting for has arrived. I would like to introduce the main speaker of the day, who is none other than senior trainer Vikas Vaidya ji. Hailing from Pune, he is Bachelor Engineering Mechanical, Postgraduate DBM. He has stayed as NRI for 12 years and traveled all around the world. He owns a small IT company. He's well versed in different languages. He's a linguistic. He knows Hindi, English, Marathi, Indonesian, Malaysian, Spanish, etc. Since last 5 years, it has been his routine to daily recite the all 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita daily. That is a great sadhana he has been doing. He's a co-trainer from L1 to L4. He gives seva in trainer selection and trainer training department from L1 to L4. He thoroughly is involved in teaching and the vivation of the Vishnu Sahasranam also as a part of the Pune Geeta Pariwar. He also offers guidance to Geeta Vratis to prepare for the Sringeri exam of Geeta. And it's a wonderful news that he himself has given Geeta Kantastikaran exam at Sringeri and received first prize from the hands of Param Pujya Jagat Guru Shankaracharya Ji Maharaj. So that's a lot many praises of him and the words are falling short. I would like to invite Vikas Vaidya Ji for today's Vivachan session.
Jai Shri Krishna to all. Vasudeva Sudan Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Pujya Swami Ji ke charan kamalon mein koti koti naman and a warm welcome to all of you, the Gita Sadhaks. We are discussing Moksha Sannyas Yoga, 18th Adhyaya Bhagavad Gita, which as I said is a summary of all the 17 chapters which Krishna has given so many messages. From second, because in the first Adhyaya there is no message from Lord Krishna, he has no shlok in first Adhyaya, but from second Adhyaya onwards, in all the Adhyayas, Paramatma has given messages, magnificent messages to Arjuna and through Arjuna to the entire humankind. Last time we covered up to shlok number 53. In shlok number 53, Paramatma had said, Ahankaram balandarpam kamam krodam parigraham vimuchya nirmama shanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So he becomes qualified for attaining that Brahma. As I said in the last session, he has reached the last but one station. If you are going to Mumbai, then instead of it, before reaching VT, you reach the Masjid Bandar. Or if you are in Pune, you reach the Shivaji Nagar station. Pune is the next station. So Brahma Bhuvaya Kalpate, you have become qualified. You are eligible to attain the ultimate destiny. What is that? That is explained in Shlok 54. Shlok 54. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochati na Kankshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktin Labade Param. Brahma Bhuta, being one with the Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. If he attains that stage of Aham Brahmasmi, that is Brahma Bhuta, Prasannatma, fully joyful, Prasanna. Na Shochati, does not lament, does not grieve. Na Kankshati, does not desire. Sarveshu Bhuteshu Sama, equally disposed to all the living beings. Mad Bhakti, my devotional service. Labhate is to gain. Param is the transcendental position. Paramatma says, one situated in the transcendental Brahma realization becomes mentally serene, neither grieving nor desiring, no shochati no kankshati. Being equitably disposed towards all living beings, samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktin labhate param. Such a yogi attains the supreme devotion for me. Unto me he attains the supreme devotion. So Shri Krishna concludes his description of the stages of the perfection. Earlier stages we discussed in the last session. Now this is the final stage, that he has attained that Paramatma, and after attaining that, he attains the supreme devotion to me. Now after attaining Paramatma, why do you need again supreme devotion? We'll discuss this in detail. So Shri Krishna concludes his description of all the stages of perfection. The word Brahma Bhuta means the stage of Brahma realization. situated in it, one is Prasannatma, meaning serene, joyful, and unaffected by the turbid and painful experiences of life. Na shochati means one does not grieve nor feel any incompleteness. Na shochati. Na kankshati means one does not crave for anything material to make one happy. He knows how to find happiness within himself. It doesn't depend on anything else outside. Such a yogi sees all living beings with equal vision, realizing the substratum, that means the foundation, the base of Parabrahma in all of them. Same Brahma is there in all of them as it is in me. So he is looking at everyone in equanimity. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, anything. All living entities, including animals. Vidyavena Sampanne Brahmane Gavyastani Shunichaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. This sloka 5th adhyay you should remember all the time. This is the external equanimity. So in such a state, one is situated on the platform of Brahma realization, Brahma realized knowledge, when he attains that stage. However, Shri Krishna, he concludes this slok with a twist. He has attained that Parabrahma, he has become God realized. But Krishna says, such a yogi attains supreme devotion unto me. So, the one then attains the Parabhakti, supreme devotion. Parabhakti means the divine love for the God. That means once you realize the God, you develop the Parabhakti, the divine love for the God. The Jnanis often say that Bhakti is to be done only as an intermediate step towards Brahma realization. They claim, Jnanis people, they claim that the Bhakti is for purification of heart and Jnana remains at the end of journey. So ultimate thing is Jnana. Bhakti is a ladder to reach to that stage. Thus they recommend that those who possess strong intellect, they can even ignore devotion and simply cultivate knowledge. In 4th adhyay we learn, Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram vidyate tat swam yoga samsiddhi kalenatmati vindati. Nothing, there is nothing great. No, nothing is more great than jnana. It is the most pious thing in the world. But this shloka now clarifies that after attaining that highest realization of jnana, Brahma realization, one develops parabhakti. So again he is coming back to bhakti. Through bhakti, he has attained Parabrahma, he has realized the Jnana, he has realized the Brahma, and after attaining Brahma, he again develops the Parabhakti. Maharishi Vedavyas says in Bhagavatam, even those who are Atmaram, Atmaram means those who are rejoicing in themselves, they are not Indriyaram. Gita says this, Indriyaram and Atmaram. Indriyaram are those who are engaged in sense gratification in the material world, while Atmaram are those who are finding happiness within themselves by themselves. So even those who are Atmaram, established in self-knowledge and liberated from the material bonds, such perfected souls desire to possess bhakti towards God. The super excellent qualities of God are such that they get attract, that those qualities even attract the liberated souls. You got the moksha, still you get attracted to the form of God. There are many examples of the renounced jnanis who attained the self-knowledge Atma Jnan, Brahma Jnan, and were situated in the realization of the formless Brahma. They had attained the Nirakar Parabrahma. However, when they got a glimpse of the transcendental qualities of God, they naturally got drawn towards bhakti. Instances of such jnanis from each of 4 yugas we can discuss. First, let us take the Satya Yuga. The greatest jnanis in Satya Yuga were the 4 sons of Brahmadeva: Sanat Kumar, Sanatan Kumar, Sanak Kumar, and Sanadandan Kumar. So they were self-realized from birth, and their minds were always absorbed in the formless Parabrahma. So they had attained Parabrahma, formless Parabrahma. These 4 brothers once visited Vaikuntha, the divine abode of Lord Vishnu. There the fragrance from the tulsi leaves at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu entered their nostrils. They smelled that, causing a thrill of ecstasy. in their hearts. Immediately, their meditation on the attributeless, formless Parabrahma ended, and they were immersed in the bliss of divine love for Lord Vishnu. So, from formless Brahma, they got attracted to the form of Bhagavan Vishnu. They requested Lord Vishnu for a boon. Bhagavad says that boon was, he says, the four brothers requested to Lord Vishnu that, "Oh Lord, we do not even mind. We do not even mind if you send us to the hell. आप हमें नरक में भेज दो, कोई चिंता नहीं. So long as our sore minds get opportunity to drink the divine love bliss that emanates from your lotus feet. This is what we want. We don't want heaven. Even if you throw us in the hell, okay, perfectly fine for us. But our minds, we want to get that opportunity to drink the divine love bliss that emanates from your lotus feet. Just imagine, even after realizing the formless Brahma, these foremost jnanis of Satya Yuga, they were willing to reside in the hell for the sake of the bliss of the personal form of God. So even after attaining formless Brahma, people get attracted towards the form of personal form of God. In Treta Yuga, the topmost jnani in this Treta Yuga was King Janak. He was the father of Sita, as we all know, the eternal consort of Lord Rama, as we know. He was also known as Videha. Videha. That means one who was beyond all perceptions of the body. Videha. His mind would remain ever absorbed, always absorbed in the formless Brahma. One day, however, sage Vishwamitra came to meet him along with Lord Ram and Lakshman with him, of course. What took place is then described in Ramayana. Ramayana says, on seeing Lord Rama, see this King Janak had realized the formless Parabrahma. But when he saw Lord Rama, on seeing Lord Rama, King Janak became detached from the bliss of formless Parabrahma and deeply attached to the personal form of Supreme Lord, that is Sri Ram. In this manner, the greatest jnani of age of Treta Yuga came to the path of bhakti. After attaining Parabrahma, people come back to bhakti. Because they say there is nothing greater than bhakti. We have attained Jnan, fine, great. But we are still getting attracted to the personal form of God. In Dwapar Yuga, the topmost jnani was Shukadeva. Shukadeva, he was the son of Maharshi Vedavyas. The Puranas describe him as being so elevated spiritually that he remained in the mother's womb for 12 years, thinking that if he came into the world, the material energy, the Maya, will overpower him. Finally, sage Narad Muni, he came to him and spoke to him through his mother's ears, assuring him that nothing of this sort is going to happen and he should emerge from the womb. 12 साल हो गए, कितने दिन अंदर बैठे रहोगे? Come out. Then he emerged, and by his yogic power, he expanded his body to that of a 12-year-old boy. And then he renounced the home. After coming into the world from the mother's womb, he renounced the home to live in the forest. There he soon reached the highest state of samadhi. He attained Parabrahma. Years went by, and once Maharshi Vedavyas's few students were cutting wood in the forest. When they saw him in samadhi, they saw the Shukadeva in samadhi. They went back and told Maharshi Vedavyas about it, that we saw Shukadeva in samadhi. Maharshi Vedavyas told them to recite a shloka in Shukadeva's ears, describing the beauty of the personal form of Lord Krishna, who is the personal form of formless Parabrahma from Lord Krishna. The meaning of shloka in short is like this. Shri Krishna is adorned with peacock feathered crown upon his head, exhibits his form as a great dancer. His ears are decorated with blue karnika flowers. His shawl is of brilliant color of gold. He wears a garland made of Vaijayanti beads. He fills the holes of his fluid with the nectar of his lips. His praises are sung by when he enters the Vrindavan surrounded by his cowherd friends, and the marks of his footprints beautify the earth. Wonderful shloka was recited in the years of Shukadeva. Shukadeva, when he heard this shloka, he was absorbed in the formless Parabrahma. When these shlokas entered his ears, suddenly the object of his meditation transformed into the enchanting of the form of Lord Krishna. He got so much attracted to Lord Krishna, got detached from formless Parabrahma. He felt so deeply attracted to the bliss of personal form of God that he left his samadhi and went back to his father Maharishi Vedavyas. From him, he heard the Śrīmad-Bhagavad. Śrīmad-Bhagavad was said by with Maharishi Vedavyas to Shukadeva, which is full of sweetness of bhakti. Later on the banks of Ganga, he related it to King Parikshit, the grandson of Arjuna. In this manner, the greatest Jnani of age of Dwapar Yuga, he got drawn into the path of bhakti even after realizing the Parabrahma. Now we are left with only Kali Yuga, our Yuga, in which we are living now. Finally coming to Kali Yuga, Jagat Guru Adya Shankaracharya, who was there from BC 508 to BC 476. Only 32 years he lived. Adya Shankaracharya, he lived only for 32 years. BC 508 to BC 476. He is widely considered as the greatest Jnani of Kali Yuga. He is widely acclaimed as the propagator of Advaitavad, non-dualism. Me and Paramatma are same, Aham Brahmasmi, that Vad, Advaitavad. People are till now we are thinking about Dvaitavad, that I am different, God is different. He was the first propagator of Advaitavad, that me and Parabrahma are same, we are one. He stated in that Advaitavad that there is only one entity in existence, which is Nirgun, that means without gunas or qualities, Nirvishesha, that means attributeless, Nirakara, that means formless, and that is Parabrahma. However, many people are unaware that from the age of 20 until he left his life at the age of 32, that means only in 12 years, he wrote hundreds of shlokas in praise of Lord Krishna, in praise of Lord Rama, in praise of Lord Shiva, and of course Mother Durga. He also visited the four dhams, Char Dham, the centers of spirituality in the four corners of our country, India. And he worshipped deities of the personal forms of God in all of them. In his creation, which is named Prabodh Sudhakar, he writes that those who perform righteous actions for attainment of celestial abode, that means for Swarga, they may do so. Those who want to perform righteous actions, Sattvic Karma, for attaining Swarga, they may do so. Those who desire the path of liberation, Moksha, via path of Jnana, may pursue that goal. Fine, they may do so. They may attain Moksha to the path of Jnana. As far I am concerned, as for me, I want nothing of these two paths. I don't want Swarga, I don't want Moksha also. I wish only to engross myself in the nectar Shri Krishna's feet. I do not desire worldly or heavenly pleasures, nor do I desire liberation, moksha. I am a rasik who relishes the bliss of divine love of Lord Krishna, and I want to see only the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. I want to be there only. I don't want heaven. I don't want to be liberation also. What a great thought of someone who had realized the God. In fact, the fact is that the Shankaracharya was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. What he taught in bhashyas, that means commentaries, he has written many bhashyas, commentaries. It was the need of the time, in his time. When he appeared on the earth, Hinduism was on decline in India, and Buddhism prevailed almost all over in India. In such an environment, the faith of Buddhism in Vedas, he sidelined devotion while writing in his bhashyas. But later, in the numerous stutis, that means praises, he wrote for the personal form of God. He revealed his inner devotion for the personal form of God. Shankaracharya was thus an example in the age of Kali, that means Kali Yuga, of someone who had reached the highest realization of Jnana, and then he did devotion. So it is interesting to understand that all the strivers, when they are on the path of spirituality, Adhyatma Marga, they start with Dvaitavad. That means I am different. How can I be God? God is different. I am a very small character. So they start with Dvaitavad. But their objective is, ultimate goal is to attain that Advaitavad propagated by Adi Shankaracharya. That me and Paramatma are same. So if they can really experience Aham Brahmasmi, they feel that this is the end of my Adhyatmic journey. Me and Paramatma are same. But is that the real end? That is the ultimate objective of their spiritual sadhana. But after reaching that stage, they get scared that they will not be able to offer their devotion to the God anymore. No, me and Paramatma are same. We are one. So how can I offer my devotion to Paramatma? And they start considering that Dvaita was better. When we were worshipping and offering our devotion, our bhakti to the God. So bhakti supersedes the jnana also. All then is finally migrated to bhakti. Okay, let's continue with slok 55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyashchasmi tatpataha tato man tatpato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Bhaktya, by pure devotional service, by pure bhakti, abhijanati, one can know mam, me, tatpataha, in essence, in truth, tata, thereafter, jnatva, knowing, vishate, to enter, tadanantaram, thereafter. So Paramatma says, Bhaktyam avijanati yavanyaschasmi tattvataha tatoman tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. Only by loving devotion to me does one come to know who am I in the truth. Bhaktyam avijanati yavanyaschasmi tattvataha tatoman tattvato jnatva. Tatoman tattvato jnatva. Then having come to know of me, my devotees enter into full consciousness of me. Vishate tadanantaram. They enter into me, that means they and me become one. But for that, the condition is they should have living devotion for me. By loving devotion, I tell them what I am really. They come to know of me, what I am. The ultimate truth. And when they know this, then these devotees, they enter into my consciousness. Vishate tadanantaram. Shri Krishna explained in the previous shloka that the one develops the devotion on becoming situated in the transcendental knowledge. He has gone the ultimate stage of jnana and he got drawn into the bhakti again, devotion. Now he says that only through devotion can one come to know God's personality, his real truth. Previously, Danis had realized God as nirguna, gunaless or qualityless, nirvishesha, attributeless, nirakar as formless. But the jnani had no realization of the personal form of God. They were after the formless God, they had no knowledge of the personal form of the God. The secret of that personal form of God cannot be known through karma, through jnana, through ashtanga yoga or any other means. It is the love. It is the love that opens the door to this impossible and inaccessible form of God. Shri Krishna states here that the mystery of God's names, his forms, his virtues, his abodes, and his associates can only be understood, can only be comprehended through unalloyed, unmixed, focused, concentrated, pure devotion. The devotees understand the God because they possess the eye of love. Paramatma wants love from us. He wants devotion from us. There is a beautiful story in Padma Puran illustrating this truth. A rishi by the name Jabali, he saw a very effulgent and peaceful maiden, a lady, meditating in the forest. He requested to that lady to reveal her identity. आप कौन है? Who are you? And purpose of meditation. आप ये meditation इतना जंगल में क्यों कर रही हैं? Why are you doing meditating here? She replied, I am Brahmavidya. I am Brahmavidya. That means the science of knowing the self, which ultimately leads to the Brahma realization of God. So I am that Brahmavidya for which people strive for the whole of their life to attain Brahmavidya, so that they can realize the Brahma, they can realize the God. The great yogis and mystics perform austerities to know me. I am that However, I am myself performing severe austerities, tapas, to develop the love at the lotus feet of personal form of God. I am complete, I am paripurna and satisfied with the bliss of Brahma, yet, without loving attachment to Lord Krishna, I feel empty and void. Brahma Vidya saying this. Thus, mere knowledge is insufficient for relishing the bliss of the personal form of God. It is through bhakti, through devotion, that one enters into his secret and achieves the God consciousness. Paramatma says that is the condition. You should have devotion, you should have bhakti for me, then you can enter into me. Then you and me can become one. Further, group 56. सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः मत्प्रसादाद्दवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्. Serve all, karmani, all karma, all activities. Api, although, sada, always, kurvana, to perform. Madvyapashraya, under my protection. Mat prasadat, by my mercy, by my grace. Avapnoti, to achieve. Shashvatam, the eternal, definite. Padam, the stage, the place. Avyayam, the imperishable. So God says, Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano mad vipashrayah mad prasadat davapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. My devotees, through performing all kinds of karmas, take full refuge in me. Mad vipashrayah, they take refuge in me, full refuge in me. And by my grace, they attain the eternal and imperishable, that means Parabrahma. In the previous sloka, Shri Krishna explained that through bhakti, the devotees enter into the full awareness of him. Equipped with that, they see everything in its connection with the God. They see their body, their mind, their intellect as the energies of God. They see their material possessions as the property of the God. They see all living beings as part and parcel of the God. And they see themselves as God's tiny selfishlessness servant. In that divine consciousness, they do not give up karma. They still continue to do the karma. Rather, they give up the pride of being the doer of the karma. Kartura Bhiman, they give it up. And also they don't remain the enjoyer of the karma. No bhakta also of the karmas. They see all their karmas as devotional service to the Supreme. And they depend upon him for the performance of their karma. Then upon leaving their body, they go to the divine abode of God. Just as the material realm or material world is made from the material energy, Panchama Bhuta, the material energy, the divine realm, the divine world is made from the spiritual energy. The world in which we are living is made from the material energy, by the Maya Paramatma. The divine world is made from the spiritual energy of God. One is Para Prakriti, another is Apara Prakriti. We learned from 7th Adhyaya. Hence, it is free for that spiritual energy is free from defects of material nature and is perfect in every way. It is the Satchidananda that is full of eternality, knowledge and bliss. Regarding his divine realm, Shri Krishna has already said in 15th Adhyaya that na tadbhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. That is my address. Tadhama paramam mama. I live there. You are most welcome to visit me. Krishna said in 15th Adhyaya. Neither the sun, nor the moon, nor fire can eliminate that supreme abode of mine. Nadbhasati suryo na shashanko na pavaka. Yad gatva na nivartante. Having gone there, one does not return to this material world again. Yad gatva na nivartante. He doesn't come back. He comes to visit me and I insist that he stays with me. Then he stays there only. He doesn't come back to this material world again. See, the various forms of God have their own personal abodes in the spiritual world, where they engage in the eternal loving pastime. Pastime is an activity that you do to help you enjoyably pass the time. So it's like hobby, I may say. So this is Paramatma's hobby to spend time with his devotees. Those who perfect their selfless loving service towards the God, they go to the abode of worship God to which they have done the worship so far in their life. Thus, the devotees of Lord Krishna, they go to Golok. Those of Lord Vishnu, they go to Vaikuntha. The devotees of Lord Rama, they go to Saket Lok. Worshippers of Lord Shiva, they go to Shiva Loka. And those of Mother Durga, they go to Devi Lok. And so on and so forth. The devotees who reach these divine abodes, Swargalokas, have attained him, participate in his device pastimes, his hobbies, that are filled with perfection of spiritual energy. So they are at a different level altogether when they attain those spiritual and heavenly abodes. We are in material world, we cannot even imagine what is happening in that at that level. Further, Slok 57. Cetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogamupashritya machittas satatam bhavo. Cetasa sarva karmani. Cetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogamupashritya machittas satatam bhavo. Cetasa means by our intellect, by our heart, by our intellect. Sarva karmani, all kinds of, sarva karmani, without exception, all karmani. Mai, unto me, sanyasya, to give up, sannyas means to give up. Matpara, my protection. Buddhi yogam, the devotional activities. Upashritya, to take shelter of. Machitta, in the consciousness of me, in my chitta. Sadatam, all the time of the day. Bhava is to become. So Krishna says, dedicate your every activity to me, making me your supreme goal. Taking the shelter of yoga of buddhi yoga, that means keep your consciousness absorbed in me always, satatam. The yoga means connection, union, and buddhi yoga will mean having intellect united with God. This union of intellect occurs when it is firmly convinced that everything in existence has emanated from God only and is connected to Him only and is meant for His satisfaction. Let us understand the position of intellect with our internal system of human beings. See, within our body, there is a subtle antakaran, which we also call colloquially as heart. He is a good-hearted man. So his antakaran is good. It has four aspects of it. Antakaran has four aspects of it. When it creates thoughts, we call it man or mind. When it analyzes and decides, we call it buddhi, intellect. When it gets attached to a person or place, we call it chitta or the subconscious mind. And when it identifies the attributes of body and becomes proud of his own body, we call it ahankar or ego. So these are all the four aspects of our antakaran. In this internal machinery, the disposition of intellect is dominant. It makes decisions while the mind desires in accordance, it works in desires, its desires are in accordance with those decisions of the intellect. And the chitta, it gets attached to the objects of affection. For example, if the intellect decides that security is the most important thing in the world, then the mind always yearns for security in life. All thoughts coming to the mind will be of security, security, security. If the decision of the intellect is that prestige in life is of utmost importance, then the mind keeps yearning prestige, prestige, prestige. So intellect decides what the mind thinks. Throughout the day, we human beings control our mind with intellect. That is why any anger that comes, it flows downwards. How it flows downwards? See, the CEO of a company, he shouts at the general manager of the company for something. Those who have worked in engineering industry, they know this. CEO is shouting at the general manager. The general manager does not shout back at the CEO because his job will be at risk if he shouts back at the CEO, isn't it? So instead, he vents his anger at the next, that means at the manager. The manager controls himself despite feeling very insulted, but he finds release by shouting back at the foreman, his assistant. The foreman takes it out at the worker, and the worker, he purges his frustration on his wife. and the wife shouts at the children. So this goes downwards. In each case, the intellect decides. What does it decide? Whether it is dangerous to get angry or where it does not have any repercussions. Where the intellect allows you to shout back, you will shout back. But when intellect says that no, there is a danger, you may lose your job, the intellect will restrain the mind. Our intellect possesses the ability to control the mind, and it knows in which situations the mind has to be kept under control. Otherwise, the life will be at threat. Thus, we must cultivate the intellect with proper knowledge, seeing the pros and cons of all situations, and use it as a guide to guide the mind. I mean, this proper knowledge of intellect should be used to guide the mind in proper direction. This is what Shri Krishna means by Buddhi Yoga. Your Buddhi should be like that. It should direct the mind in the proper direction to the path of spirituality. It should not direct it to the material world. That is Buddhi Yoga. Developing a firm conviction of intellect that all work and all things are meant for the pleasure of God. For such a person of steadfast intellect, the chitta easily gets attached to the God. For chitta, there is only one entity in the world that remains, that is the God. Okay, next sloka. Machittas sarva durgani matprasaddatyarishyasi ata chetvam ahankaran nashroshasi vinangshasi. If you always remember me, by my grace, you will overcome all obstacles and difficulties of life. But if due to pride, you do not listen to my advice, you will perish. You will perish. Machchitta sarvadurgani mat prasad dattarishasi. Mere prasad se you can cross over all the difficulties of life. Atha chetvam ahankara. But if you show your pride, then no shroshasi. If you don't listen to me, then vinakshasi. Then you will perish. Having advised in previous shloka on what to do, Shri Krishna now declares in this shloka that the benefits of his advice and the repercussions of not following his advice. The soul should not think that it is independent of God in any way. Our soul is not independent of God in any way. If we take full shelter of the Lord with the mind fixed only on Him, then by His grace, all obstacles and difficulties get resolved. But if out of vanity, out of pride, we disregard the instructions, thinking that we know better, then the eternal wisdom of God and scriptures, we know better than that also, we will fail to attain the goal of human life. Because there is no one superior to God, nor there is anyone's advice which is better than God's advice. Our intentions have to be pure in life. Intention matters a lot. Our intention has to be pure, particularly when we are worshipping the God. If you have some bad intentions or common intention when you are worshipping the God, God knows it. What is the intention behind your worshipping the God? So people with proper intention, they can even attain the God. But people with improper intentions, can they reach the God? No. But when we do our karma, we somehow ignore what is my intention behind doing this. Internally, we should examine what is my intention. Is it good intention or bad intention? Is it malevolent intention? Before doing any work in life, do we think about what is our intention behind doing that work? We just start blindly. Everybody is doing, so I am also doing it. So this is the story time now. After discussing these basic principles, what Krishna has said, let us examine ourselves also. Do we really have think of our intentions when we take any work in hand, any karma in hand? This is an incident that one keynote speaker, Belinda Goodrich, a famous personality, she shared in one of her speeches. She says, it was May 2006 and I was traveling to Bangalore, India from my home in Phoenix, which is 8,600 miles from Arizona. I grew up in Maine, one continent, one city there. That trip to India was something which I had never thought of. I was going to India to meet a team of employees of various companies. It was important for me to know their skills, to know their expectations from the job, their behavior as the citizens, their culture, etc., etc. So, with that in mind, I decided to visit a local market in Bangalore. Local market. A visit to the inner bazaars of Bangalore is an utterly mesmerizing experience, she says. This is not a tourist destination. No marketplace in India is a tourist destination, definitely not. Our Monday is not a definite destination for tourists. In fact, all my companions, they looked at me in disbelief when I said, I really want to visit the market. He said, why market? There are many other things to see here. He said, I said, no, I want to see the market. So they could not say no to me. But it was a place like I also had never imagined before. I had never seen before. Bright colored fruits, fragrant spices, lots of stray animals around, cows and dogs moving freely in the market, extremely humid climate, crowds of people, streets full of odor and scents, all kinds of noises. I had never experienced this kind of thing in my life. It was getting a bit heavy and scary for me, to be honest. And I felt like something I was stuck in my throat. I became speechless seeing that market. So I spotted a corner in the market. There was a beautiful sight in that corner, that the shady nook at that corner where women were sitting and making garlands for the temple. The hues of those flowers were stunning in color and fragrance. And there was wonderful smell of jasmine in the air. That scene gripped my mind from within. I was watching them while walking by. Then I caught sight of a woman, an old woman. She says she was more than the age of my grandmother. So that means you can imagine how old she would be. I was very surprised to see that she was sitting on the hard floor and weaving garlands with her small and bowed hands for only a few rupees at that age. She did not even have teeth. So she was that old that she did not even teeth in her mouth. Maybe she did not possess anything at all. She had nothing. I opened my purse and I took some money from my purse and offered to her. Now that old lady, she did not speak English and I did not know Hindi, nor did I know Kannada. When I said, I want to buy your things, she looked me and down in gaze of wonder. What am I talking? Because she did not understand. Then I said to my guide, a bit embarrassed, oh Danny, she probably did not understand what I said. Could you please explain to her properly? So this Danny, her guide, he had a brief conversation with the old lady, and then she chose the most beautiful jasmine garland that I liked, and then pinned them on my hair with her arthritic hands. Hands were shaking, arthritis. I opened the purse again and offered her money. But that old lady refused. She said, no, I don't want. I was surprised. I looked at Danny, my guide, and said, I don't understand anything. Danny replied, see, Belinda, you chose her and you honored her by liking and wanting her flowers. The price of these flowers is completely paid by your behavior. Belinda was shocked. My behavior has paid the price. Great. That moment, she says, it changed my life as I realized that I have done everything wrong till now in my life. I was born in the 1980s, moving up the corporate ladder in the hopes of next title. After getting one title, what is next? What is next? For my next promotion, I used to always think all my mathematics was wrong. I was defining my birth by what I earned, not by who I was serving. But when we put money before moral values, we only succeed to a certain extent. But when we serve with a sincere heart, the people we serve respect us with their time, with their trust, and with their money. Then we become prosperous in the wholesome manner. Becoming prosperous money wise, many people do. But becoming prosperous in all these aspects is something which is great. I had a journal at that time I had brought in India, she says. I opened that journal and saw that the flowers of the garland that I had preserved in the journal at that time were now brown. They are dried, no? Over a period of time, they have, they have dried. So they become brown and withered. But they constantly remind me of that old lady who had nothing. But to me, she was the richest person in the world. After that incident, I made a lot of changes in my life. I left India as a new and changed woman. My heart and mind were heavy, and in fact, my eyes were welled up too. Because not only did I go home and quit my job, but I took home with me a dog that I had adopted from the streets of Bangalore. Even took a dog from Bangalore. He used to remind me what we can do in this world. I used to remember Bangalore and that old lady whenever I am with my dog. I am bidding farewell to you with this message. She says in the end, service over business, service over business, respect over greed, and most importantly, people over profit. People over profit. There are many ways to offer yourself. Simply offering yourself up to the service puts you in a better position. Offer yourself for a service. Seva is the greatest thing. With the belief that what needs to be done has been done, you move forward in the peace. So attaining peace is more important than attaining money. That lady learned a big lesson from an old illiterate lady in India, and she had come here to teach Indians how to behave. But she says, I'm a changed person after visiting India, and I know now how to change the life. Okay, continuing with next sloka, sloka 59. Yadahankaramashritya nayotseiti manyase mittesha vyavasayaste prakrutistvannyokshasi. If motivated by pride, yadahankaramashritya, you take the refuge of ahankar, and if you are get motivated by your ahankar, your pride, and you think, I will not fight, nayotsya, I will not fight. Krishna is telling this to Arjuna, of course, that if you are motivated by pride, and if you say that I will not fight, nayotsya iti manyase, your decision will be in vain. Mittesha vyavasayaste. Vyavasaya is the decision, that means. This decision, what you will take, will be futile, ridiculous, in vain. Your own innate nature, prakrutistvan, will compel you to fight niyokshasi. You cannot avoid your innate nature. Come what may, your innate nature will definitely make you to fight. Speaking in a criticizing tone, for Arjuna, Sri Krishna now delivers a word of caution. After telling all this, he gives a word of caution now, saying that we should not think we have complete liberty to do what we wish. The message to us is this: the soul does not have an independent existence. It is dependent upon God's creation in many ways. It is materially bound state. In a materially bound state, it is under the influence of three gunas of Prakriti. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo. We learn in 14th Adhyaya. Gunatra Vibhaga, Shraddha Vibhaga. 17th Adhyaya. The combination of gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, it creates our nature. Some people have got more Sattva, less Rajas and less Tamo. Some have more Rajas, less of Tamo and less of Sattva. This combination varies from person to person, but that defines our innate nature, and we are compelled to act according to the diktats of this nature. The combination of Sattva and Tamo that we are having in us, that decides our innate nature. Hence, we do not have an absolute freedom to say that I will do what I like. You may like many things, but your innate nature will compel you to do what you really are. What is your nature? We have to choose between two things. One is you have to choose between the good advice of God and the scriptures, and second thing is compulsions of our nature. There is no third way. Either you accept the verdict of God and accept what God has said you, or you accept the compulsions of your innate nature. There is no third way. Only these two options we have. No, there is an about one's nature, how one's nature dictates his behavior. A soldier, he retired from army after 30 long years and he returned to his hometown. One day he was standing in a coffee shop drinking coffee when a friend thought of a practical joke on him. He screamed from behind, "Attention!" like they are saying in army. Responding to that command of attention, this army, ex-army person, soldier, because that attention had become a part of his nature, his soldier's nature. Whole life he had been attaining that, listening to that only, attention, attention. And in army, you know that if the boss says attention, whatever is in your hand, you have to throw it out and stand in attention. So this fellow's nature had become like that only. So involuntarily, he dropped the cup from his hand and put his hands by side, stood in attention position. Because it had become his innate nature. Krishna wants Arjuna and he is warning Arjuna that by nature he was a warrior. So when somebody in the battlefield says attention, you will also become a warrior. If somebody attacks you, you are saying that it is better that I die in the battlefield. But you will not do that. You will not do that. Mithesha, this is not correct what you are saying. And if out of pride he decides not to listen to the good advice of Sri Krishna, his Kshatriya nature will still compel him to fight. Because of your ahankar, you are declining what I am trying to tell you. If you decline me, okay, no problem. But your innate Kshatriya nature will compel you to fight. You can't refuse them. But the question is, if this was so, that Arjuna would have started the fight on his own without any compulsion, then why did Krishna tell all the Gita to him? Isn't it? He could have waited for Arjuna to fight on his own. Why to tell Gita to him and trying to convince him? See, the thing is, this is because this was a Dharma Yuddha. And Sri Krishna did not definitely want to take any chances. Arjuna was the hero of his Dharma Yuddha and he did not want to take any chances with the hero. Because the fighting spirit in Arjuna getting invoked may take some time, few days. And that time was very valuable. Both the armies are standing in front of each other and this fellow says, I will not fight. There was no time to wait and wait for that kind of fighting spirit getting invoked in Arjuna's mind. And that loss of time would have definitely damaged. The damage could have definitely happened in that time. That is why cleansing of Arjuna's mind was necessary before the first arrow in the war was shot. That's why Sri Krishna had to tell Geeta and convince Arjuna that whatever he is thinking, you need to have a relook at your thinking. Okay, next sloka, 60. Svahajena kaunteya nibaddhasvena karmana kartunnekshasi yanmohat parishyasya vashopitat. Svahajena, Arjuna, that action which out of delusion you don't want to do, you will be driven to do it by your own inclination born out of your own material nature. Svahajena, that is your Svahava. Kshatriya is your Svahava. Kaunteya, calling for Arjuna, Nibaddha Svena Karmana. Kartun Nitshasi and Mohat. Under Moha, you are saying, I will not do, I will not do, I will not do. Karishasya Voshabhidat. But you will do it. You will do it. See, continuing the words of warning from the previous slokas, Sri Krishna further elaborates. He says, due to samskars of your past lives, you have a Kshatriya nature, warrior nature. Your inborn qualities of heroism, chivalry, that means the honesty and patriotism, will compel you to fight. You have been trained in past lives and also in this life to honor your duty as a warrior. It is possible. Is it possible then for you to be inactive when you see injustice being meted out to you and others in front of you? Okay, you have gulped down your own injustice. But when gross injustice is being done to others, can you be a mute spectator of it? You are a Kshatriya. You will not. So your nature and inclination are such that you vehemently, strongly oppose evil wherever you see it. Therefore, it is beneficial for you to fight in accordance with my instructions rather than to be compelled by your nature to do the same. Ultimately, you are going to do the same. So why don't you take my advice and do it now? Why you wait for your nature to wake up? Your nature also will tell you the same thing what I am telling you. See how the reactions of Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya, their temperament changes in a given situation. How their innate nature shows off in different situations. Suppose a bad guy, a bad element, is attacking a person in the marketplace. The Brahman, what he will do? He will fold his hand. Namaskar. Please don't trouble me. I'm a poor man. By killing me, by attacking me, what you will gain? If I have done anything wrong, please forgive me. I'm folding my hands in front of you. I'm very poor. I don't have much to offer to you. So Brahmana's strategy will be like this. That is innate nature of Brahman. While Kshatriya, if somebody attacks Kshatriya, Kshatriya's hand involuntarily will go to the weapon in his hand, in his pocket. And he will counterattack that attacker. He will counterattack. Because that is Kshatriya nature. While a Vaishya, what he will do? He will try to negotiate with that attacker, saying that, Shanti, can we have some give and take? Can we discuss this? Let us have some give and take to handle this matter. Why you get angry? We can discuss. So these are the innate natures of Brahman, Kshatriya and Vaishya. And they got this from Prakriti. They can hardly go against this nature. A Kshatriya can never sit silent when somebody is attacking him. That is his nature. And repeat again, this is not by birth. This is the temperament of an individual. By birth he may be Kshatriya, but in temperament he may be Brahman. Then this is not applicable to him. I am talking of temperament of Brahmin, temperament of Kshatriya and temperament of Vaishya. So as we discussed at length in the last session, birth has nothing to do with the Varna or whether you belong to Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Your temperament, your inner attitude, that matters. Okay, next slok 61. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati bhramayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord dwells in the heart of all living beings. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. He is there in the heart of all. Arjuna, according to their karmas, he directs the wandering of souls who are seated on a machine made of material energy, made of Maya. So we are all sitting on a machine and Paramatma looking at our karmas, he is rotating the wheel and we are getting rotated in the wheel and doing the karmas as per our own sanskars. Emphasizing the dependence of our soul on God, Shri Krishna says, Arjuna, whether you choose to obey me or not, your position will always remain under my dominion. The body in which you reside is a machine made from my Maya, my material energy. Based upon your past karmas, I have given you the body you deserved. I too am seated in this machine and I am noting down all your thoughts, all your words, all your deeds. So I will also judge whatever you do in the present because it will decide your future. Every passing moment, we are adding to our sanskars. By sitting in this Gita Vivejan, we are adding to our good sanskars. And these sanskars will help us in our future. Maybe not in this life, maybe in future, in the next life. So every karma that we do, it adds to our sanskars. Maybe we have done some good sanskar, that's why we are affiliated with our Gita Pariwar and we are getting so much of Sattvic knowledge, isn't it? So these sanskars are definitely going to help us in this life as well as in future. So Krishna says, I am noting down all your actions, all your thoughts, all your deeds. I will then decide your future. Do not think you are independent of me in any condition. Hence, Arjuna, it is in your self-interest to surrender to me. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Vriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahman Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Maya. Don't think we are all independent totally and we can do whatever we want. We are bound by these two things, as I said. Good advice of God and our scriptures and our innate nature. There is no third thing. Slok 62. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. Bharata is calling for Arjuna. Surrender exclusively to him. with your whole being. Sarva Bhavena. Bharat means Arjuna. And by his grace, you will attain perfect peace, Param Shantim, and the eternal abode. Sthanam Prapsasi Shashvatam. Place that is Shashvat, eternal, that you will attain. You will attain Param Shanti and you will attain that Param Pad also. Being dependent upon God, the soul must also depend upon His grace. That comes by corollary. If you are depending upon God, then we must also depend on His grace to get out of the present predicament in which we are and attain the ultimate goal of our life. Self-effort will never suffice for this. We need the grace of God. Self-effort will never suffice. Everybody wants that. But God decides on whom He will give His grace. How He gives, that we will discuss in future. But if God bestows His grace, one will attain eternal bliss and the imperishable abode. That is the guarantee God gives in this shloka. However, to receive that grace, the soul must qualify itself by surrendering to the God. Samarpan. If you are surrendering to the God, then the God will decide whether to bestow His grace on you or not. Even a worldly father, for example, he will not hand over all his property, all his possessions to his child until the child becomes responsible enough to utilize the property and properly. Similarly, the grace of God is not a whimsical act. किसी को भी दे दिया grace of God, ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's not a whimsical act of God. He has perfectly rational rules on the basis of which He bestows His grace. Suppose if the God does not follow the rules, people's faith in the God will break, no? Let us say one father, he has two sons. He instructs both of them to work hard in the paddy field because it is a cultivation season. So he asks his sons to work hard in the paddy field. One son, he toils and sweats it out in the blazing sun all day long. In the night, when he returns, the father says, "Well done, my son. You are obedient. You are hardworking. You are loyal. Here is your reward. I give you this 1,000 rupees. This is your reward. You can take it and do whatever you want with this money." So when he takes that money, he is very happy that the father has appreciated my efforts and he has given me this reward of 1,000 rupees. Very happy. The second son does nothing. He lies in the bed day long, sleeping, drinking, smoking, and even abusing the father. Why is he asking me to go to paddy field in this hot sun? Criticizing father also. At night, suppose at night, the father says to this second son that, "Never mind, after all, you are also my son. So here is your 1,000 rupees. Enjoy it. Enjoy yourself with this 1,000 rupees." What will happen? The result of this will be that the first son's motivation to work hard will get destroyed. He will say, "If this is my father's reward system, then why should I work? I will also be doing nothing. Because ultimately I will also receive 1,000 rupees for doing nothing, like my brother got." Likewise, if the God grants His grace without our qualifying for it, all those who became saints and who attained moksha, they will complain. What is this? We strived for so many lifetimes to purify ourselves and then we became recipient of God's grace. But this person is receiving it without making himself eligible for it, without getting qualified for it. God says, "I don't behave in such irrational manner. I have an eternal condition based on which I bestow my grace. And I have declared this in the scripture as well." Oh, the Upanishads say, we take the shelter of that supreme being who created the Brahmadeva and others. And by his grace, that soul and the intellect get illuminated. Bhagavad says, Uddhava, Krishna says to Uddhava in Bhagavad, Uddhava, getting up or giving up all forms of mundane social and religious conventions, simply surrender to me, the supreme soul of all souls. Only then can you cross over this samsara material ocean and become fearless. So surrendering is a must. Paramatma wants us full surrender from us. There are 6 aspects of surrender which we'll discuss. See, Krishna has said in the Gita in 7th Adhyaya also that Daivi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratteya Mamaive Prapadyante Maya Metantarantite. Daivi Yesha Gunamayi, my divine energy consisting of 3 modes of nature, Sattva, Tamo, is very difficult to overcome. Maya Duratteya. You cannot cross over it easily. Mamaive Prapadyante. But those who surrender to me, Metantarantite, they can cross it over easily. They can cross it over easily. Ramayana also says that the moment the soul surrenders to the God, its account of sinful deeds of endless lives gets destroyed by His grace. But on whom the grace can be bestowed, that He decides. Our demand has no meaning. In this shloka, Shri Krishna has reiterated the necessity of surrendering to God to receive His grace. Full samarpan is a must. Now, what is the meaning of samarpan? Surrender. This has been explained in Hari Bhakti Vilas, in Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu, in Vayu Puran, and in Ahir Buddhi Samhita. They are all the scriptures of our Sanatana Dharma. The gist of all this is that there are 6 aspects of surrendering to the God. 6 aspects of surrender to the God. What are those? First aspect of surrender is to desire only in accordance with the desire of God. To desire only in accordance with the desire of God. See, by nature we are all His servants, and the duty of any servant is to fulfill the desire of his master, isn't it? So, as surrendered devotees of God, we must make our wills to conform with the divine will of God. This is like, a dry leaf is surrendered to the wind. It does not complain whether the wind lifts it up, takes it forward, or takes it backward, or drops it on the ground. Similarly, we must learn to be happy in the happiness of God. मुझे नीचे को फेंका, no complaints. So always remember the dry leaf wandering in the wind. The leaf never complains even if it is dropped on the ground, isn't it? So the only desire, we should desire only in accordance with the desire of God. This is the first aspect of surrender. Second aspect of surrender is not to desire against the desire of God. Not to desire against the desire of God. Whatever we get in life is a result of our past and present karmas. However, the fruits of karmas do not come by themselves. God notes down them and gives the results at the appropriate time. Since God Himself dispenses the results, we must learn to serenely accept those results respectfully. Usually, when people get wealth, when they get fame, they get pleasure, they get luxuries of life, they forget to thank the God that this is God's grace that I got all this luxury in my life. They say, I have done I have taken a lot of efforts. I have toiled for the whole of my life to attain all this. I am great, like that. People also say, we are great, right? However, if these people, they get suffering in their life, they start blaming the God. Yeah, chai. For success, you will not appreciate God. But for sufferings, you will blame God. Is it right? They complain, why did God do this to me? So this is the second aspect of surrender, means not to complain about whatever God gives to us. So this is the second aspect of surrender. Third aspect of surrender is to have firm faith that God is protecting us. God is the eternal Father. We learn in 9th Adhyaya also, Pita Hamasya Jagato Mata Data Pitama. Pita Hamasya Jagato. He is the eternal Father of the world, of the universe. He takes care of all living beings in the creation. There are millions or trillions, not millions, trillions of ants on the planet, our planet Earth, and all of them need to eat regularly, isn't it? Do you ever see that thousands of ants in your garden have died out of starvation? We never see. God ensures that they are all provided for the food every day, trillions of ants. On the other hand, the elephants, every day they use huge amount of food. but they also get. They also get. So God provides them also. God provides foods in the form of milk in the breast of mother for the newly born. He is worried about that also. This newly born, where he will go to eat and drink something. Let me provide something on his mother's body only. Even a worldly father, he cares and provides for his children. So why then should we doubt whether our eternal Father, God, will take care of us or not? Why should we doubt? To have firm faith in His protection for us is the third aspect of surrender. Fourth aspect of surrender is to maintain an attitude of gratitude towards the God. Attitude of gratitude towards the God. See, we have received so many priceless gifts from God in our life. The earth on which we walk, the sunlight with which we see, the air that we breathe, and the water that we drink are all given to us by God. In fact, it is because of Him that we exist. He has brought to us to life and imparted consciousness in our soul. We are not paying Him any tax for that. But at least we must be feeling greatly indebted, grateful for Him, for all that He has given to us. This is the sentiment of gratitude. We should constantly have this sense of gratitude towards the God. The reverse of this is the sentiment of ungratefulness. For example, a father does so much for his child. The child is told to be grateful to his father for all that he has done for his child. But the child responds, why should I be grateful? My father's father, he took care of my father, and so my father is taking care of me. So what is great about it? Why should I express my gratitude for that? This is a system going on. This is ingratitude towards the Holy Father. To be grateful towards the Eternal Father, towards God, our Eternal Father, for all that He has given it to us is the fourth aspect of surrender. What is the fifth aspect of surrender? Fifth aspect is to see everything that we possess as belonging to the God. God created this entire universe. It existed even before we were born. And it will continue to exist even when we are dead, when we are no more. Isn't it? Hence, the true owner of everything in the universe is the God alone. When we think something belongs to us, we forget this proprietorship of the God on the universe. For example, let us say someone comes to your house when you are not at home. He wears your clothes. He eats the food out of your refrigerator. He sleeps on your bed. And when you return, you ask him angrily, what have you been doing in my house? How can you use my clothes? You're lying down on my bed. You're eating things from my fridge. What are you doing in here? He will say, see, I have not damaged anything. I have merely used everything properly. So why are you getting angry with me? Why are you getting so annoyed with me? You will reply, you may not have destroyed anything here, but it all belongs to me. If you use it without my permission, you are a thief. Similarly, this world and everything in this world, it belongs to the God. To remember this principle and give our sense of proprietorship to the God is the fifth aspect of surrender. And the last aspect of surrender, sixth, is to give up the pride of being surrendered. After following all five aspects of surrender, you may feel little pride in your mind that I have been successful in surrendering to God. That pride also should not be there. Sixth aspect of surrender says to give up the pride of being surrendered. If we become proud of the good deeds that we have done, the pride spoils our heart and undoes the good work that we have done. Ahankar is our Shatru, biggest enemy. That is why it is important to keep an attitude of humbleness. If I was able to do something good, it was only because of God inspired my intellect in the right direction. Left alone to me, I know I'm a wayward guy. Would never have been able to do all that I have done now. That's why I say, I have not done it. God gave that thought to me in my intellect, and then He got it done from me. So this humbleness should be there all the time. To keep such an attitude of humility is the sixth aspect of surrender. So these six aspects of surrender we should always keep in mind when we say that Paramatma ko samarpan karna. So this is what is samarpan. If we follow this, if we follow these six aspects, 6.6 principles of surrender, we will fulfill God's condition, which God had said, surrender to me with all sarva bhavena. So this sarva bhavena surrender to the God. So if we fulfill this God's condition, what will happen? He will bestow His grace on us. That is the condition He had put in this shloka. That you surrender to me, then I will bestow my grace on you. So surrender means this kind of surrender. All six aspects of surrender. Okay, continue with next shloka, 63. Iti te jnanamakhyatang guhyat guhyataram maya vimrushyaitadasheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. Paramatma says, Iti te jnanamakhyatang guhyat guhyataram maya vimrushyaitadasheshena yathechasi tatha kuru. Thus I have explained to you this knowledge that is more secret than all secrets. Guhyat guhyataram. So I have given you this knowledge from my side, which is secret of all secrets. Ponder over it deeply. Vimrusheta dasheshena. Ponder over it deeply. Asheshena, without leaving any loose point, think over what I have explained to you. And then, yathechasitata kuru, then do as you wish. See, what an example, what a great example of humbleness Sri Krishna has set for us. After telling this whole Gita, after satisfying all questions of Arjuna, he is not forcing Arjuna into doing what he wants him to do. He is leaving it to the good senses of Arjuna. Yatechisiddha Guru. Now you can do what you want. I am not forcing you to fight. I have explained to the pros and cons. If you fight, this will happen. If you do not fight, this will happen. You decide what to do. So he has left the decision in the hands of Arjuna. As a God, he got told Arjuna, I am telling you, no, I am God, no, you know me, no. So you should do what I am asking you to do. He did not force Arjuna like this. Now the question is, what is the secret of Gita? Paramatma says Guhyat Guhyataram, and this Guhya Shabda word has come in many shlokas of Gita. That this is a Guhya knowledge, secret knowledge. See, a Gita book is available for 10 rupees in the market. You go to any bookshop, you will buy a Gita book for 10 rupees. Or somewhere it is available free also. Gita Pariwar many times gives it free also. So anybody and everybody can read the Gita. So what is the secret about it? A secret is that information which is accessible to a majority of people, which is not rather accessible. That is the secret. It is not accessible to the majority of people, only for the selected few it is available. Then it is secret, isn't it? Most of the laws of physics were secret until a few centuries ago. And many still continue to remain so. Everything is not known to the humankind till now. Spiritual knowledge is profound and is not realizable through direct perception. You read a book and you get the knowledge. Spiritual knowledge you cannot get like that. Gita is not a novel that you read and understand the story and the plot of the story. No. Spiritual knowledge is to be learned through Guru. Spiritual knowledge is to be learned through scriptures by doing your own contemplation, manan chintan. Hence it is described as secret. Because everybody understands the secret differently depending on his conclusion of that script. Depending on different shlokas of Gita, there are many speakers who will tell different perceptions of these shlokas based on their intellect. That's why there are so many books in the market on Gita, isn't it? Because everybody thinks differently based on his background, his experience, his level of intellect. That's why it is called as a secret. In Adhyaya 2, Shri Krishna had revealed the knowledge of soul. The secrets of soul, which he called as Guhya, secret knowledge. In Adhyaya 7 and 8, Shri Krishna explained the knowledge of his powers, which is Guhya Taram. In those Adhyaya, Paramatma said, this is Guhya Taram. In Adhyaya 9 and subsequent Adhyayas of Gita, he revealed the knowledge of Bhakti, which is Guhya Tamam, or most secret. Shri Krishna is now concluding Bhagavad Gita in this Adhyaya Having spoken most of the shlokas in this adhyay, including imparting the most secret knowledge to Arjuna, he now leaves the choice in the hands of Arjuna. He says, I have revealed whatever I wanted to you. The profound and confidential knowledge I have revealed to you. Now choice is in your hands. Lord Rama, he made a similar statement to the residents of Ayodhya when he invited them for his discourse. And he said, in that discourse, he explained to them that the purpose of human life is what? He explained to them the purpose of human life and the way to accomplish that purpose. And in the end, Shri Ram concluded by saying that the advice that I have given to you is neither incorrect nor it is coercive. I am not forcing you, but it is not incorrect. Listen to it carefully. Contemplate over it. Do your own manan chintan of it and then do what you wish. Yathe he said to people of Ayodhya also. So God being God, even then he is so humble. He is leaving the decision in the hands of mankind. That he imparts the greatest knowledge to us and then he says, I have explained to you. I have done my job. Now think over it. You may not agree with whatever I have said. Take your own decision. The free will to choose between the available options has been given to the soul by God. The freedom of choice, but is not infinite. Our choices are limited by our past and present karmas, which form our sanskars. However, we do possess a certain amount of free will, but because we are not machines in the hands of God, sometimes people question that if God had not given us the free will, we would not have done anything bad, anything evil in our life. He gave us the free will. And then when we do something wrong, he says, you have done something wrong. Then don't give us free will. Isn't it? Some people complain like that. The opportunity to do something good always comes with the danger of doing something evil. Most importantly, God wants us to love Him. And love is possible only when there is a choice and there is no force. Yahi karna padega. Then the love is not there. Then it's a dictatorship, isn't it? So the love is there when you are given a choice and not under force. You are asked to do something. God has given us that freedom. He is not forcing on us anything. A machine cannot love because it has no freedom of choice. God created us with the free will and provided us with the choices so we may choose Him and thereby exercise our love for Him. Even the all-powerful God cannot force the soul to love and surrender to Him. Our mind is like that, human mind is like that. If you ask him to do something, the mind will say, I will not do it. I will do opposite of it. So he says, the decision must be made by the soul itself. I am not forcing. The decision should be made by the soul himself. Here Shri Krishna is calling Arjuna's attention to his free will, that he has that free will as a gift of God. But ponder over it clearly on the knowledge that you have been given, and then you think this is the guru. Then you do whatever you want. Slok 64. Sarvaguhyatamam bhuya shruname paramam vachaha ishtosi me dhrudamiti tato vakshyami te hitam. Paramatma says, hear again from me, listen to it from me, my supreme instructions. Paramam vachaha, supreme instructions, the most confidential of all knowledge. Sarvaguhyatamam. I am revealing this to you for your benefit because you are very dear to me. Ishtosme dhrudamiti, you are Ishta, you are very dear to me, Arjuna. See, a teacher may know the deepest of secrets, but he does not necessarily reveal all the secrets to his students. Before sharing, he considers many things, such as the preparedness of the student to receive that knowledge, to comprehend it, to understand it, and then benefit from it. Does he have all these capabilities? If yes, then he may share. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was bewildered, was confused by the problems facing him and had asked for guidance from Shri Krishna. The Lord enlightened with great care and consideration, uplifting his understanding little by little in each adhyay. Through all these 18 adhyayas. Having seen Arjuna receiving the message so well and even asking freely wherever he had problems in understanding, Arjuna now feels confident, Sri Krishna now feels confident that Arjuna will be able to grasp the final and most profound knowledge as well. Further, he says, Ishtosi me dhudamiti, meaning, I am speaking this to you because you are my very, very dear friend. So I care for you deeply and sincerely desire your best interest. That's why I'm going to give you this Sarva Guhyatamam, the secret of all. Next loka 65. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhya jiman namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyente pratijane priyo sime. Paramatma says, Paramatma is giving a pledge to his bhakta. Always think of me, manmana bhava, mad bhakto, be devoted to me, madhyaji, do my pujan, worship me, man namaskuru, offer your obeisances, your namaskaram to me. Doing so, you will certainly come to me. Mame vaishyasi, you will come to me. Satyante pratijane, this is my pledge to you because you are very dear to me. Priyosime. So this is a commitment, this is a promise Krishna is making to his bhakta, to his friend, and through him to all the bhaktas that he has. How to become his beloved bhakta? We learned in the 12th adhyay, Adveshta Sarvadukhanam Maitra Karunaivacha. From Shlok 13 to 19th of 12th adhyay, Paramatma has given 39 counts on which he evaluates his bhakta. If out of those 39, if we have got 2-3 also, we may become very dear to Krishna, like Arjuna was. Maybe we will not achieve that level, but at least we will be closer to Krishna. So Paramatma says that if you are very dear to me, that's why I am giving all this to you. In Adhyaya 9 also, Krishna had promised Arjuna that he will reveal to him the most secret knowledge, Raja Vidya Rajoga Yoga, and then had gone on to describe the glories of bhakti. Here he repeats the first line of 9th Adhyay, 34th Shlok. Manmana bhavan bhakto madhyajiman namaskuru mami vaishisi yuktayama atmanam mat parayana. That was the 9th Adhyay. Here, first line is same. Manmana bhavan bhakto madhyajiman namaskuru mami vaishisi satyante pratijane priyosime. God making a promise, a pledge to his bhakta. Normally it is the other way, no? We should make a pledge to the God that God, I will do this, I commit to you. Here God is making a commitment to his bhakta, asking him to engage in devotion by developing deep love for Sri Krishna and having his mind always absorbed in exclusive devotion for him. Then Arjuna will be assured of attaining the supreme destination. This is Sri Krishna's promise. This is his commitment. This is his pledge. A perfect example of someone completely absorbed in the devotion is given of King Ambarish. In Śrīmad-Bhagavad, there is a story of Ambarish king. You might have read probably. Ambarish absorbed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. He used his speech in glorifying the qualities of God, his hands in cleaning the temple, his ears in hearing the divine songs of God. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deities. He used his limbs in serving those who were engaged in devotion. His nose in smelling the fragrance of tulsi leaves offered at the lotus feet of Lord. And his tongue, of course, in tasting the prasad of the Lord. He utilized his feet for walking to the holy abodes and his head in offering obeisances, namaskaram, to the lotus feet of God. He did all this. He did all this with all his limbs, with all his senses, not with some selfish motives, but only to attain selfless service to Lord Krishna through purification. See this in contrast with our behavior. One day of many months, we go to the temple, we do namaskaram to God and put a list of our demands. God, I have come to your temple, but please remember this, I want all this. And here, Ambarish is doing everything for God. The instructions to wholeheartedly engage in devotion is the essence of all scriptures. See, ultimately we did so much spiritual literature, but this is the essence. One single sentence if I tell you. wholeheartedly engage in devotion. This is the essence of all scriptures, and it is the ultimate conclusion of all knowledge. However, this is not the most confidential knowledge that Sri Krishna has referred to. He is still to give that knowledge, because he has already given this in the earlier adhyayas of Bhagavad Gita. He is repeating those. He has mentioned this in earlier adhyayas as well. He will reveal that most confidential knowledge in the next shloka, which we will study in the next session. Thank you so much for your attending and listening to it patiently. Now the forum is open for you to ask your questions. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya, thank you for sharing so beautifully the sense of surrender and all the secret knowledge to all of us. And you have really shared a very enlightening and thought-provoking session. Those who have any questions, please raise your hands. Bhaiya will be answering the questions. Please raise your hands, those who have any questions. Yes, KRM Raoji. Yes. Please unmute yourself.
Jai Shri Krishna Dada.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Namaskar. Sir, our Guru of Heartfulness says during the war, there is no time to disclose all these things. There's no time. So, out of 701 slokas, only 7 slokas he has told. Others, through transmission of pranahuti, he has given all these other things. Just like he told that our Guru. Is it correct?
See, it is said that though we read Gita for 2 hours to complete all 18 adhyayas in the form of shlokas, Shri Krishna did not read all the shlokas, isn't it? But what he said was in a concise form. And it is said that Gita was said on the battlefield of Kurukshetra in some 30-35 minutes. He did not take 2 hours, because it was a time when both the armies were standing in front of each other, and any moment the war could have started. But the basic message was given by him. It is then wonderfully expanded by Maharishi Vyas. So what you say is right, that when the armies are standing in front of each other, did Krishna elaborately explain all these principles in so much of details? No. He took only 35-40 minutes to explain the entire Bhagavad Gita, the crux of the matter. He will emphasize on the kartavya karma of every varnas. That is true. I have to take another Vivechan of 11th Adhyay in a short while from now. So if we can take the remaining questions next time, I will be grateful to you.
Okay, Bhaiya. Okay, so Bhaiya has a Vivechan another session. Okay, so I thank you, Bhaiya, for this beautiful session and sharing your wonderful thoughts with all of us.
Abhay Tripathi has a question. Let him ask. Abhay Tripathi ji, ask question. What is his question?
Okay, Abhay Tripathi Bhaiya. Please unmute. Yeah. Abhay Tripathi Bhaiya, please, yeah.
Yeah, actually, my question is answered. I had heard that Gita was told in 45 minutes in warfield, but as you explained that it was explained by Vedvyasa,
Yeah.
and actually it was in 30 or 45 minutes in the warfield.
Yes,
A
yes.
concise form.
Yes, yes, right. He did not say all this.
Yes, yes.
Prathama Adhyay and
I had
Dvitiya
this question.
Adhyay.
But now it is answered.
He didn't say all this.
Thank you.
Okay. Jai Shri Krishna to all.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you for your wonderful enlightening knowledge that you have imparted. Okay, now I want to thank each and every sadhak for participating in today's session. We'll be meeting back in next week's enlightening session. I want to thank the very vigilant and very efficient technical team, without whose efforts this session would not have been possible. And now is the time that we offer our prayers again in the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. For that, I want to invite Shanta Ajmera ji from Kolkata. She is now in Gurgaon also. She's a graduate. She loves music, playing harmonium, dholak, and she joined Geeta Pariwar in April 2024. She cleared the Jigyasu exam with 100% marks. She's at present the Sadhak of L4 and also co-trainer in L1. Welcome, Shanta Didi.
योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं.
Thank you, Didi, for the melodious prayer. And now is the time for the Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोज सगावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय.